Hello, and welcome to my latest video. In this one, you can see I've already painted the background of the canvas. This one is going to be another wave, but done with the Amsterdam Pearl Paints and other dark paints. The reason that I've painted the background in Pthalo Blue black and just basic carbon black is the pearl paints do best on a dark background, so I've made the background of the canvas dark basically. What you've seen there is I've put down the first bit of a black paint. Yeah, that's a black paint. And the whitish paint you can see there is just PVA glue and iridescent medium to give a fluid barrier that the paints can kind of, well, not bounce off of, but flow over. The thing that you do when you're doing the fluid paintings is you need the paint to roll over itself. Well, not exactly itself, but you need the paints to roll over each other. On this one, I want the blue-black background. Yeah, spoiler, it's not going to last using just the PVA glue and iridescent medium. Worked a bit, but I didn't give enough space between my various bits of, well, between the crest of the wave and the kind of bottom of the wave, the barrel bit of it. So I ended up having to go back in and add some extra space. I didn't have any blue black, so I mixed up a different colour off camera. But as you can see, I'm going in, I'm layering in various blacks and navy blue paints. So there's a bit of navy blue in there, a bit of phthalo blue, and yeah, it's navy blue, black and phthalo blue that are in this piece predominantly, as well as some pearl black, which is the one just between the main group of paints and the side. What I'm doing at the moment is adding in some paint near the corner, just so it will head kind of over the corner of the canvas, but I have got the paint, well, the base painted, so it looks okay as it is. The various white shades that you can see are not white paint. They are the Amsterdam Pearl Paints, which when blown over the other colour, the darker colours, are going to give a myriad of shimmery pearlescent colours. So the pearl paints that I have are Pearl Blue, which is the one on the top, then Pearl Yellow, then Pearl Red, and then Pearl Violet. So here you can see me putting in the a bit of phthalo blue, just so you still get the ocean wave colour in this. It's a lot of dark colours, and this was an extremely experimental painting that I wasn't sure was going to work or not. That's the pearl yellow I'm just pouring in. That ends up looking really gold. It's amazing. I love that colour so much. And going in with some more of the, I think that's the pearl red or the pearl violet. This is the point where I've identified that crest is not going to work. There is more paint there than I need, and with the dry canvas underneath, no idea how this is going to work out, so it's an experiment, and that's fine. We're going to see how it goes on the video together. Obviously, I kind of know. And what I know is I did the crest first. Usually I do that bit last, but on this one I decided to try and do it first and see where I'm going to get to. And as you can see, that is an unholy mess. The paint has spread out far too far, coming almost into contact with the bottom of the wave, so I already know at this point it's gonna take some work. I'm trying to take some paint off of the canvas to keep a little bit of a gap in between, and at this point I'm actually just tilting the paint just so it flows down a little bit more. The problem with using the blow dryer is the air moves more than just the paint that it's over. It's quite a wide range. So yeah, again, trying to keep that little barrier in between the two, just to see what we're going to get out of this. And yeah, as you can see, it's not great, so I just decided at this point the rest of it is layered up really nicely, and you can see the blue coming out on the pearl paints there just near the top. So you can, the rest of the paints, as I say, are layered up brilliantly, and they're going to give an amazingly fantastic cool effect. Fiddling around with the crest of the wave is not unknown for me, and when I'm planning the waves, I always plan to spend a lot of time on the crest, either when the paint's still wet, or to go in and put some other some work in doing touch-ups afterwards. At this point I have given up on keeping the blue-black background intact. I've used Amsterdam Zinc White, which is a transparent white. First time I've used it on such a large canvas, just to see if I can get the crest looking reasonable, and then I knew I would come back in and either paint the background white or paint it another colour. So there, I've got the inner curly bit of the crest working just about, and I'm just trying to get the outer edge sorted. With all of this being a fairly similar colour, it's a bit it was a bit difficult. The camera doesn't necessarily pick everything up that you want, or the detail that is there. You're going to see a wonderful picture of this at the end. There's another recording of the dry wet result, and I'll actually insert a detailed picture of the dried result. That was taken outside in natural light, which shows off the shimmer the best. So you can see here I'm being more cautious than I normally am, I think, going through with these various areas of the white, which I know are going to dry to be pearlescent ribbons of colour. The reason why I'm being so cautious is I need the pearlescent paints to end up on top of the dark colours, not the other way round. Because the dark colours, even if they have an element of transparency, the pearlescent won't show unless it's the top layer of paint. So you're going to see me going back and forth a fair old bit as we go through, and you're also going to see that if I recall, yes, I think I caught this on camera, a slight change that I made to the piece part way through is going to be coming up as well. Just around the overall design, I designed this piece so that the paint job done around the edge, I wouldn't actually have the paint falling over the edge of the canvas. And yeah, I'm going to change my mind in a minute. So yeah, that's the fun bit on there. But as you can see, as it's coming out, it is looking very much like a wave, as it's intended to. The really fun bit working with the pearlescent paints is not the pearlescent, the Amsterdam Pearl Paints, is you don't really know till it's dried exactly what you're gonna get. And that is actually really quite fun. You can layer your paints, you use your technical knowledge, and you just go, well, I think this is going to turn out like that. But you don't actually properly know until the end. You can see a little bit, such as on here where the yellow's starting to show up. So I was fairly sure that part was going to work well. Actually, I'm going to pause the audio for a sec and highlight the bit that I'm pointing at on my phone as I'm recording this. One sec. As if by magic, the arrow appeared. That was the bit of the ribbon that I thought was yellow, which is amazing. I'm going back in, taking another wild stab at the crest, and it's coming together. It doesn't look like it at the moment, it really doesn't, but it really does come together in the end, and I do. But with that, there is some effort that goes into this off camera, particularly in creating the mixed colour that the background is going to be, and then painting it in. And the bits that I paint in, whenever you see a crest and I say I've done the background in the off camera, I finger paint that. And here I'm putting in some more of the Amsterdam Blue, Pearl Blue, and adding in I think some violet or some gold there, I'm not sure. Yeah, that would be violet because that was the violet ribbon. As you can see, on a couple of bits, the black's gone over and it's not showing up. So I'm putting extra paint in. Whenever you're doing these pieces, please make sure that you leave some paint. Doesn't have to be a lot, but enough so that you can put paint in using your stirring stick, because the number of times that I've done these pieces and I've noticed it's not going quite right, if you've got the paint there, you can correct it, you can go in, you can do exactly what I'm doing now and add the colour in and then just blow over so you get the result that you want. Like here, I'm just blowing it in, creating the result that I want, the design that I planned, and you know, don't underestimate the amount of time also it takes to plan these paintings. This one took me 2 weeks. Literally, it was bubbling away in my head for 2 weeks. And before I painted the canvas, I stood over the blank canvas planning where the paint was going to go for probably about an hour, listening to a podcast or some music, but I did spend a lot of time planning this, and you will spend a lot of time planning what you're doing. If you're new to acrylic pouring, don't worry about that now. Just start doing a dirty cup, a flip cup, something like that, or a straight pour, a ring pour, and learn how the paints interact together. Once you've got that base level of technical knowledge, you can start planning more elaborate, more fun pieces. And this is the point where you see my board noggin coming in, using a silicone straw to blow a little bit. And here is the magic. So that's water and soap spray just being sprayed over the entire canvas. What it does is it shocks, well, it doesn't shock, it does something to the surface tension of the paints, which allows the various paint densities to come into play. So some paints will rise through others, which create these small champagne cells. And I really like the effect that soap and water spray gives for cells. It's a non-toxic, very simple way to get the little cell reactions. And I love how it does it. And there I'm using a embossing heat wand, which is the electric version of a butane torch. It gives out hot air. The reason why you've got that is you circle it above the various bits of your painting just to get the air bubbles to come through, because by putting hot air above, it encourages the air within the air bubbles within the paint to rise. And again, some more fiddling for the crest. Just trying to give a defined outer edge. And what I do with that, I literally just use the paint stick just to get a little bit of paint on the mixing stick, and then dab it onto the canvas, and then finger paint in to get the crest. And here I'm using the Amsterdam zinc white just to create the negative space, kind of, or the bit that isn't going to be the crest of the wave. But you'll see that I come in with a different colour to actually create the proper crest of the wave in a little bit. And yeah, it's just not been working out properly, so I'm just taking the paint off the canvas, dragging it off the edge. I use the little wood spreader bars a lot of the time, just to, if I've got paint that's near the edge that I need to get rid of because I know it's not working, just use that to scrape the paint off of the canvas and then pour a little bit of the background colour in. I'm actually making it up in the corner, as you can see on camera there, because I didn't have quite enough of the paint to hand. And the shaking that you can see on my t-shirt in the background is me just quickly mixing up the paint. if you don't have the paint on hand, literally just mix some more up. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to waste a little bit of paint. That's not the worst thing that happens. That's not the worst thing that can happen in the world. And as you can see there, I've got a much clearer defined crest of the wave, and I'm coming in with various pearl paints at various points in the crest just to give a bit more of the pearlescent effect, well, a bit more of the Amsterdam Pearl paint effect, and yeah, that's a lot of it. Then is finger painting it in, so kind of just very delicately dabbing on the paint, dragging it through, mixing a little bit but not too much, just to get the result that I want, the defined edge to the crest of the wave. And I'm waffling a lot about a lot of work that went into this. I think it's important that you see this, because otherwise you just see the initial burst of activity, the stuff with the hairdryer that looks exciting and amazing, and you don't quite realise how much other work can go in, or the amount of time that goes into this. This piece took over an hour to do. Just this recording is over an hour. It's at 3 or 3.5 speed. I can't remember which. I think it's 3 speed. Hey peeps, here is the dried result. I had to wait for it to be cooler for me to be able to stand up and do some stuff. It's been sweltering here in the UK. Because I had to do some touch-ups with the piece. So, here it is dried. I'm going to take you through. And I've got the torch on. This background bit here has been changed. I actually mixed up a custom colour to do that, just to get the shape and everything to work, because as you can remember, the crest was a bit too close to the rest of the sea. So I've just gone in and finger painted all of that in, done the background and firmed up the crest. I've also gone in, and that's my dog protesting it not being allowed in the room. I've also gone over and finger painted in some more of the pearlescent paint. So here it is. It's a very, very pearlescent, shimmery wave. I love the purple there. I also love the blue. That's a lot more subtle than the other colours, to be fair. And then, well, we've got the lamp over this bit, so it's very, very shimmery. We've got the gold and the red that looks a bit more bronzy than anything. And then I went in over the corners with Pthalo Blue and also the pearlescence to give that effect. Yeah, I just love this piece. It is amazing. So there's the whole piece. Sorry for the glare there from the lamp. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.